And hello there once again, boys and girls, children of all ages. Told you I'd be back. I just had to get me some more water because I need to calm down after drinking that energy drink. If you just got done watching our pick show with myself, Dave, Travis, who had to go, and Dave had to go as well, but I am not alone though. I have everyone's favorite MIB agent. No, not Will Smith. It's Mr. Jones. Well, this is a very special stream tonight because it's something I didn't think I was going to hit this year. I hit 40,000 trophies a few weeks ago, but this one's more special. This is platinum number 1,000. That's right, platinum number 1,000. I need a girlfriend in my life badly. Or at least just a female friend with benefits, you know, to make my life a little better. Now, of course, we did do, now off screen, I did do the other games already that I needed it. But if you remember earlier, we did all 3 of the tournament fighting games. Oh dear God, that was not a fucking nightmare. All I'm gonna say is to the person who made the requirements for the Genesis version, kiss my ass. I mean, there is a trick, and I showed how the trick works. You just have to use, Casey Jones and do the bomb attack. Other than that, though, it's kind of, but you still have to be lucky with your hit. And the AI on that difficulty is annoying as hell. So, there's only one game left I have to do, and that is Turtles in Time Arcade Edition. And then the Platinum will be mine. Now, of course, though, let's take a look at the enhancements. We're not doing starting level. We're not doing God mode, because that's stupid. We're not doing button dashing. We're not removing the penalty bombs. Nightmare mode, we are not doing. Because that increases the number of enemies, and we're not doing turbo mode. We're going to leave it as it was back in the day. Now, I can either pick one of the 4 turtles here. I can either pick Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael. In this case, because I did use all 4 turtles already, we beat a game with Leo, we beat a game with Mikey, we beat a game with Donnie, and we did beat the Tournament Fighters on Nintendo with Raphael, which was not a bad game, I gotta admit, the Nintendo one. It's hard to get used to the controls for that one, but once you get them, it's actually kind of a decent beat 'em up. I mean, fighting game, not a bad one for the Nintendo. But here's what I'm going to do because I just love my subscribers on occasions when they don't mention the wrestler who will not be named on this channel anymore. I'm going to let my viewers, you know who. I'm going to let my viewers to pick who I play as. So, with that being said, the first Jones is with me in the chat, but he's not going to have to put a comment in. I'm going to let him just say what turtle he wants me to play as. If that gets 2 more votes, that'll be who I get. Now, if I don't get any more votes after 10 minutes, well, when it hits the 10-minute mark, which will be in about 6 minutes, it will be just the one Mr. Jones picks. So, Mr. Jones, who would you like me to play as Turtles in Time to get the platinum? Leonardo, Mikey, Donnie, or Raph? Raphael, alright, so right now Raphael is in the lead. If Raphael gets 2 more votes, he wins automatically. If no one else votes in about another 5 minutes, then Raphael wins automatically as well. So while we wait, this gives me time to talk about a few things. Now, I know you did not watch the State of Plays yesterday from Nintendo or PlayStation, correct? Because you won't make it money. Game. No, I meant the State of Play for Nintendo and PlayStation yesterday. Yeah, okay. Well, in case now, one of the games. No problem. Now I'll just discuss for the games that were released. Now, one of the bigger games that caught my attention that was on the Nintendo one that's coming to PlayStation is the second Fatal Frame game that's getting remastered. Anybody who knows me knows I love horror games. Fatal Frame 1 on PlayStation 4 5 is actually on sale right now. So if you love horror games and you love that Japanese ghost stuff, definitely pick up Fatal Frame 1. It is on sale. I actually bought it early. I'm going to buy one more game on the sale because I have the money for it and then I'm tapped. But I love that. Now, getting over to the PlayStation, they did show a new trailer for God of War Ragnarok. But the big news was if you have a PS5, you can actually pre-order a God of War Ragnarok controller. It's a collectible controller. I actually do like collecting weird controllers. I actually have these, and I still have this, and it still works, believe it or not. The PS3 Batarang controller that was for the collector's edition of Batman Arkham City. I still have that controller, and it's a legit Batarang, but it's a controller. Yeah, that's one of my prized possessions for game collecting. Also announced yesterday, there is a Sega's bringing back one of its classic games that did not make it over here. That inspired the Yakuza series. So there's that, and Yakuza 8 did get announced as well. Yakuza Like a Dragon 2. But here's the thing. Okay, Brian, well, you already said that can't be said on the thing anymore. Don't make me put you in timeout again. Now, I am that petty. Yes, I am that petty. That's how much I hate that wrestler. I am that petty. By the way, Brian, vote on a total you want me to play as. Raph, Donnie, Mikey, or Leo. Yakuza 8's coming out, but... Yeah, there's no female turtle here, if anybody who remembers that, which I don't think anybody does except us old people like you and me. So Yakuza 8's coming out, and the original one who was in the Yakuza series is actually making his return, the main character, so he'll be in this one. Now, one game that I know that's going to piss you off because you have to have a PS5 for this. Tekken 8 got officially announced yesterday, but it's only on PS5 at the moment in next gen. So PS4 owners, you may get screwed here because it did not announce for PS4. It just said PS5. So you Tekken fighters, you better have a PS5 or you're not playing Tekken. And Travis subbed to my channel. Yay. You mean PS5, yeah. Correct. So just for you Tekken fans, I just wanted to pass that along. I'm happy for Tekken 8. I'm hoping it's going to be better than Tekken 7. If you've not seen the trailer for Tekken 8, please go watch it. It's a very good trailer. You can tell the next-gen graphics are there. Also, a new game was announced as well, Stellar Blade. Previously, Project Eve. They had the story trailer. Comes out in next year. Of course, Tekken 8, which we just mentioned. And there were other games I want to talk about real quick before we get to the last 10 seconds. What Where the hell is the other one? Pacific Drive looks pretty interesting, but the big one that it is a Sony exclusive, and it actually caught my interest, and I kind of have to say they kind of copied Ghost of Tsushima a bit. Is called Rise of the Ronin. This one though kind of mixes. It's right during that time period in Japan where swords are disappearing because now people from England are coming over and they're bringing guns and cannons. So you're not only going to have, your main kid is not only going to be good with weapons like swords and axes, but he's going to actually be loving to use guns. Which does look interesting. I can't wait for that. And apparently, Hogwarts, Sony's getting an exclusive Hogwarts Legacy level Haunted Hogside Shop Quest trailer. That is exclusively to PlayStation. And of course, Breath of the Wild 2 got announced yesterday from Nintendo. Bayonetta 3. Resident Evil is coming to the Switch as Resident Evil Cloud series. If you remember GoldenEye 007, that is coming to Nintendo Switch for online. So nan. Because PCs don't exist. PC's not the master race anymore. Alright, no one else voted, so it looks like Mr. Jones picks win, so I'll be having to play this as Raphael. And remember, winners don't do drugs. They use alcohol. Pizza power. Oh, well, I forgot the arcade actually had an opening theme song. Because it's been so long since I played the arcade version of Turtles in Time. Pizza power.
Let's get shell.
This is April O'Neil reporting.
I did see a little bit of it, but I didn't get to watch who won because I fell asleep.
Hey, Krang, bring that statue back, you bloated beanbag.
No, I was tired. That wasn't you. I'll hurt you in a minute. I'm giving me enough credits so I can actually beat this, and I'm giving me 100 credits. Okay. But it's hard to grab them in this one. Well, God, I already got took out. Oh, God, well, good Lord, I'm in trouble. Alright, let's take a look at the strategy guide. Yes, this has a strategy guide for it, believe it or not. Oh, Turtles in Time, the arcade one, was not released in Japan. Did you know that? Here are the tips. Don't stress the sewers. Mikey's nunchucks. There are kids playing these games right now who are going to be alive in the year 2001. Makes you think. It just really has literally 3 tips. Fair enough. And controls, that's pretty much your controls. Not a lot of controls to worry about here. I do love the bowling ball. Miley Cyrus is here. Came in like a wrecking ball. I'm moving as fast as I can, Splinter. I'm not that... Raph is not that fast. He's about power, not speed.
Pizza time.
Oh, that explosion failed.
Prepare to die.
Now the thing is, if you have this on PS4 disc or digitally, you get the PS5 version as well. If you got it on disc, you just got to put it. You got to have a PS5 that plays discs, and you'll get the free update version. If it's digitally, you automatically get it. You just got to download it. Same with all you smarter than a 5th grader, aka Doug's an idiot. Alright, getting to the first boss, which I believe is Baxter Stockman, if I recall.
Terminate the turtle.
Oh, this one doesn't show you the enemy's health bar. Oh, wow, okay. That must have just been a Genesis and Super Nintendo exclusive. So you probably just got to base it when the enemy's flashing like he's on crack. Oh, now it's the gun I always thought was made out of cheese. And Baxter Stockman goes down.
Cowabunga! Alley Cat Blues.
Alley Cat Blues. But this takes me back going to the arcades, having to have money to play the quarters and see how long you could get it to. At least in this day and age, you don't need quarters anymore. Well, you know what I mean. You don't have to literally stick a quarter in the machine, you know. Oh, I fell in a hole.
Pizza time.
I don't. Okay, what the? There's a robot with boxing gloves. What the hell? This is what happens when you get old. You don't remember what was in the arcade version. Because I think most people remember the Genesis or Super Nintendo, but they don't remember the arcade one that much. Let's rewind that. I could have probably waited about on that one a bit.
Pizza power. Cool off, son.
Of course, oh, I'm coming up to my favorite stage though. That was in Turtles in Time, and I think anybody who knows me knows it's one because I always play it when I was at the gym or at work, which very annoyed my co-workers. And that's of course when we go into the sewer surfing.
To mangle you green slime balls.
It's the Metal Turtle. I can't remember his fucking name now. Fuck. Metal. Yeah, thank you, Metalhead. Yeah. I'm glad that Mr. Jones is here with me. He can help me when I forget shit. He blew up! And now he's in pieces.
Sewer surfing.
Sewer surfing. Alright, love this song. Do, 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 do. Dude, and of course, I know we faced the Rat King in this one. You know, we got pizzas, unit pizzas here to deal with. My toes, my toes! Da, 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 da. They live in the sewer, so they have disease. Scientifically accurate Ninja Turtles. Scientifically accurate Ninja Turtles.
My toes, my toes. No. No. My toes.
My toes, my toes.
My toes, my toes.
Ow. Flying mutant pizzas.
No. No.
Battletoads. Mighty Ducks, you could say, in a way.
My toes, my toes.
Oh, Biker Mice from Mars I loved. I know that was a ripple, but that was fun. And Street Sharks was good too, I'm honest. I had the Street Shark toys as a kid, and I have the had the entire series on DVD. Would I redo it? Oh, I'd make it rated R, man. You know, like they're doing with Winnie the fucking Pooh, which my whole family I can't wait for that. That just needs to come out now. I don't care if it's not done yet. I don't care if it still needs polishing up. Just bring me the Winnie the Pooh horror film out now, please. I need that in my life.
Pizza time.
I think I'm one of the few people on Facebook who's hyped for that movie. Maybe a little bit too much. Yeah, I'm the guy who loves horror films.
My patience is wearing thin. I'm banishing you to a time warp from which you will never return.
Oh, you don't face the Rat King in the sewers? That's odd.
Prehistoric turtle saurus.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that in the arcade one. So, the arcade game is different than from the Super Nintendo and Genesis version then. Because the sewer level always had the Rat King in it. Okay. No Rat King. And now we're in prehistoric time, so this should be Slash if it follows the game most of the ones we grew up on Hyperstone and Super Nintendo, but I might be wrong here now. I don't know. Because the first two enemies stayed the same, but now everything else is different. That's the rock people. I find it funny. I tell Brian Webb, don't say that phrase anymore. That's said by the guy we don't talk about, and he doesn't stay in the stream. He just leaves the thing. He doesn't want to watch. I would never understand, as long as I live, people like him. I would never understand why they like that guy. It's a sense of robot to me, but I mean, I'm honest. I wasn't a big fan of him in FCW and NXT, so it's not like I just hated him out of the blue. I've never been a big fan of his. So, because to me, he's like Goldberg. I don't see where he's actually has talent or improved. I'm sure I know a lot of people would disagree with me, but then there's going to be people who would be like, "Oh, but Goldberg was so great, and so was Kevin Nash." Which, okay, I don't know who this guy is from the Totals boss fight. It's some kind of clay monster looking feud. So, okay, it might be Muckman, I'm gonna guess, because it doesn't look like Mutagen, but... because he's throwing mud at me. But yeah, here's the thing, 'cause in one of the groups, I put my top 5 worst WWE champions, and everyone was like, "Oh, my list is terrible. I don't know anything." And I'm like, "Yeah, that you guys, some of you said Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels were worst champions." Well, I noticed, and this is what I've come to the conclusion: the people who like Goldberg, Nash, and the Bloodline guy, I've noticed when I bring up Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels or Eddie, most of them will say, "Oh, they're vanilla midgets and more talented." So we're now getting to the point in wrestling to where it used to be, oh, the hardcore marks versus the non-hardcore marks. We still have that, but now we have the guys who just like the big sweaty guys versus the guys who are not small. I actually had one guy tell me AJ Styles is not talented, and I just had to shake my head. But with that being said, here were the 5 wrestlers I put that were the worst champions. Number 5, Jinder Mahal. Here's the thing. We all know why he won the belt. It wasn't because he earned it, because when he came back, people still looked at him as a jobber. When he won, people were shocked. But we all know why he won it, because they were trying to get that Indian market. And it didn't work. Plus, it didn't help that you kind of made him you pretty much made him his run was kind of forgettable, because you made him the foreign menace, and the great savior for America was supposed to be Sasuke Nakamura. Weird. Number 4, Bill Goldberg. I'm counting all his reigns, world title and the other ones. Not good runs, and you had him bury not only Kevin Owens in a squash match, then you had him bury Bray Wyatt. To me, terrible, bad ideas. Number 3, this is where I think people start getting Diesel. Kevin Nash for me. Remember, the only good matches he had was with Brett and Michaels during that title run of his in WWE. Other than that, Sid, Mabel, Bulldog. Plus, he did bring in the lowest rating, so I think he's justified to be on the list. Number 2, the guy who will not be named. I haven't liked any of his Huh? Roman. Well, I can't say it without wanting to throw up. Roman. You say it. I'd rather say Kirk Cousins 20 times. Yes, really. Roman. I have him at number 2. Don't really think he's that entertaining. Never really liked him on the mic, and I'm going to say this. The biggest problem with this 2-year run, you've made everybody who's faced him look like an idiot because you've gone with the same way he wins every match. Interference. Again, and I'm going to say this. My problem's not that he cheats to win. That's what a heel needs to do. My problem is, where's the brass knuckles? Where's the foreign objects? Where's the dusty finishes? Where's the ways you could change it up instead of letting it being the same old shit? And then number 1, and this is where I have to explain myself a bit. Stone Cold Steve Austin, but, before everyone gets mad at me, no, let me explain. It's only one title run that I don't like of his. That's when he turned heel at WrestleMania 17. Well, no, remember, I always explain it because here's the thing. Even Austin has said he didn't like that time as champion because no one bought him as a heel. He was still getting Shield, even when he was teaming with Triple H. And when they put him in the had him join in the Invasion team as the heel champion to try to get him booed, it didn't work. I'm like, all his other runs worked great because they did, booking was correct. But that heel run of his, when he was champion at the WrestleMania 17, just doesn't work because no one booed him. He kept getting cheered, and and even he said he did. That's probably his worst title run because of how booking and storylines went. That one I know I have to explain a lot because everyone just, and once I think people hear the explanation, they say, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Because here's the thing, even people who say who the top 10 worst heel turns were, that's always number 1 or number 2 for people because of how it went after. Now, back at that time, I actually liked Alberto Del Rio. Now, again, that was without knowing everything that he's done since, obviously. But I actually liked his run. Granted, I will admit they were probably, all his reigns were short. But I can live with them because of the fact of it actually, at the end, it kind of worked what they wanted. They did get that next, well, at least for a little bit it worked anyway. They got that Mexican market back because they knew Ray was getting old. They were trying to find a replacement, and Del Rio worked for a little bit. Not well, but it worked for a short time. Now, knowing what we know about Del Rio, I'd probably... Here's the thing with the Great Khali one that people forget. Why us Americans view it as a failure, it actually did succeed in India. When he won the world title, the Indian market popped. And actually in India, when he was champion, and even when he wasn't, edited television, because remember, it was differently there than it does here. He was always the main event, even if he was the opening act here in the U.S., his thing would always end the show in India. So it's like, It didn't work for us, but it worked in the market that WWE was trying to get, so I can't really hate on it that much. That's what they tried to do with Jinder, but unfortunately it didn't work this time for many different reasons. One, Jinder being actually from fucking Canada. I can understand that perfectly. Can understand that as well. Yeah, because this World title run was terrible, and they only had the WWE title for what, 24 hours? Oh, not even. Oh, yeah, he only had it for that episode. Yeah. They did him dirty on that one, I gotta admit. I think he had a few other world title runs as well, but none of them really were memorable either. So I can understand Ray's on that list. I can understand that. It's like, it's hard for. I get why, because his matches were shit, but I was saying his defense when he won the title from Michaels in 90, I think it was what, 96? He got a big pop in New York. The New York fan base went nuts. Now, I don't know if that's because they were big Sid marks, because he did get the pop. He did get shit, or was they were tired of Shawn Michaels shit. I don't know. Okay. Now, Sid's number 2, so who do you have at number 1? Ooh. I'm going to say you picked Vince only because of this. Kane winning, yeah, he only had it for 24 hours, but I think we all kind of knew they were not going to have Kane lose and set himself on fire. I think they kind of worked themselves into a corner on that one. And I'll be honest, whoever came up with that decision was an idiot. It's like, why would you have the guy say if he loses, he's going to set himself on fire? Because you know he's going to win then, because we're not going to kill somebody on fucking pay-per-view. First blood match at the 98 King of the Ring, if I recall. Yeah, I agree with that. Now, I will say this. If we were counting all world champions, every company, I'd be honest. Roman wouldn't be on the list. Stone Cold wouldn't be on that list because I was just worrying about WWE. But if we're counting all world championships, yeah, Goldberg and Nash would still be on that list. Yeah, I do know that. That's why I'm kind of don't like to hate on him as much. Plus, he is Super Shredder. I think the reason I hate Nash a lot, I'm going to say this. In WWE, back when he was Big Daddy Cool, I was more of a Brett and Owen guy, so I was kind of mad Owen didn't have a run with the belt. As far as for WCW, I think because I hated Goldberg as well, so I was like, man, why couldn't DDP beat Goldberg at Halloween Havoc? Um, and then of course the Finger Poke of Doom thing did, and I don't think anyone that's up well with anybody. Yeah. Now, I know. Go ahead. I was gonna say the one thing I will say, and this is when I talk about WCW champions who are worse. I don't have David Arquette at number 5 because I'm like everyone's like, oh, but he was terrible. I'm like, guys, if you look at everything what happened backstage and everything after, he said even before before it happened, he didn't want to win the belt because he said even I wouldn't believe it, and I'm a wrestling fan. And Ric Flair said at least he wasn't the worst champion. Plus, at least David Arquette donated all the money to fallen wrestlers' families. So I can't hate on him at all. It's hard for me to hate that. I will still say to this day, Vince Russo is the worst WCW World Champion because it was stupid how he won it. He forfeited the belt on the next, I think within the next episode, and that gave us the 49ers on a pole match between Jeff Jarrett and Booker T that had a blow-up door, a picture of Scott Hall, and I think a coal miner's glove in a box. At least with David Arquette, you can at least say they were trying to build it up, build it to something because of the movie they did, Ready to Rumble. I think it was Ready to Rumble, wasn't it? Yeah, so they were at least trying to do something with it. And once you hear everything that happened after, that he didn't want to do it, but he only did it anyway because he wanted to help the movie and all that. And all that. He did donate all the money. Plus, I'm like, guys, remember, he did take a few good bumps, better than most wrestlers fucking have. Plus, he was good on the mic. I actually wanted to punch him when he turned here. I wanted to punch him. Should have been world champions? Okay, now I'm going to ask this question. Are we counting the AWA as a world title? Because Kurt Hennig won that because that used to be recognized back in the 80s as a world championship, and Kurt Hennig won that. But I know most fans don't count that, so that's why I wanted to ask beforehand. It depends. Okay, I see what you mean then. Okay, I know who I can put. I know who's my 5 then. Okay. I agree. Well, he was TNA World Champion twice. But I know most wrestling fans don't recognize the TNA title as a World Championship. That's what gave us the Broken Matt gimmick. Okay. He won the NWA World title, which I know doesn't mean anything anymore, but he was NWA World Champion and Ring of Honor World Champion. Okay, that's why I said, because Mr. Perfect never won the world title. Kurt Hennig has, but that was when he was not using the Mr. Perfect gimmick. Yeah, I kind of agree with that one, and I know because you just yes, he did win the NWA World title twice in TNA, but I'm like, here's the problem: neither one's were memorable, and he never really had the belt long. It was pretty much, I think, just done to say, hey, here's your first NWA Black World Champion. Oh, I agree with that. I actually would be okay with R-Truth beating him for the title, because I'm like, I'd believe that. Yes, R-Truth is a goofy character, but any of us older fans would actually say, hey, that's finally recognizing a guy who's put in the work, is talented, great mic skills, and has had good matches. The problem is that WWE's always used him as a goofball idiot. The one time they did it was when he turned heel, and they didn't put the strap on him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you could have had R2 just have it for a month, and it would have been okay. Yep. I agree. Now, here are my 5 guys who should have been world champions but wasn't. Number 5, I have Scott Hall. Number 4, I have Sheldon Benjamin, so we kind of agree there. Number 3, Roddy Piper. As much as he did for the 80s boom and was that ultimate heel to Hogan, he never won the world title. Yes, he won the IC title, and then he was U.S. champion and tag team champion, but he never had the world title in WWE or WCW, which is very disappointing because he should have had it at least once. Number 2, Ted DiBiase, $1 Million Man to be more specific. Because here's the thing, and somebody's going to say, oh, Doug, but he did win it. Remember, they struck that from the record books when Andre handed him the belt. Yes, there's footage of him defending it at a house show, but they don't count that reign. They don't count him as champion. It pretty much goes from Hogan, Andre wins the belt in that screwy finish, to then no champion. And here's the thing, and this is what pisses me off and makes me hate the Honky Tonk Man. You may not know this, and this was actually revealed, I think it was revealed by Ted or Honky Tonk Man. It was revealed by somebody. The original plan for the tournament at WrestleMania 4, Ted DiBiase was supposed to win it over Savage, but Honky Tonk Man refused to drop the IC title back to Savage. So Vince, to make it up to Savage, had Savage win the tournament and win the belt. Yeah, so Ted DiBiase would have been champion if it wasn't for the Honky Tonk Man. Yeah, and then number one, of course, this ain't gonna surprise anybody because he was my favorite wrestler in the WWF. I always made him my champion in the video games. The Rocket, the true King of Hearts, the only king in the Hart family, Owen Hart. I agree.
Skull and crossbones.
Alright, now we're at the Skull and Crossbones stage. I don't know who the boss is here because everything's just gone whacked. But here's the thing I will say that, and one thing that makes me hate what happened at Montreal. A lot of fans believe, since Owen was the only one who couldn't get out of his contract, Vince wouldn't let that happen. A lot of people believe Owen was never going to win the belt. Because remember, when Owen came back at the DX pay-per-view the next month, fans who were they were like, oh, Owen's going to get revenge and win the belt. They gave him one title match against Michaels, and it ended in a DQ win. And here's the...
Forgot the sun cream.
Yeah, I to this day, I think I think whoever convinced Owen to do bring back the Blue Blazer gimmick, which I know Piper and a lot of people bring Vince Russo, but I'm like, why does Vince not get any of the blame? Because he had to okay it. And here's the thing, and this is what makes me more mad. When Michaels got hurt at the Royal Rumble that year, you could have just had Owen win the belt and had Owen versus Austin, and everyone said, oh no, it wouldn't bring in the ratings. I'm like, actually it would, because I'm like, here's the storyline. Owen wins the belt and could say, hey, Austin, I broke your neck once by accident. This time, though, to keep the championship, I'm going to break your neck again on purpose at WrestleMania. And Austin could be saying, hey, you injured me once. I'm not going to let you... I would do anything it takes to get the belt, injured or not. Be damned. But... no, what's Owen get? Oh, a European title one that's forgettable, and then you join the Nation of Domination. And then you get a tag team title one with Jeff Jarrett, which, well... I get a board to my face. Alright, so I wonder who the bosses here are, because in the Nintendo version, it's Bebop and Rocksteady in the pirate stage. Oh my goodness, we spent 20 minutes talking about the best, the worst, and who should have been champion. I had it on pause the entire time. Oh. We love old school wrestling, to be more specific. Because I'm honest, I haven't enjoyed any of the new stuff the last few months. What the hell? That's not who's... okay, now I don't know what the bosses are going to be anymore. It's Tarek and Ray. It's the guy from TMT 2 movie. Yeah, Toko and Razor. So I don't know who the bosses are anymore now. I'm confused. So this doesn't follow this. So the Super Nintendo one and Hyperstone changed the boss order then. Yeah, we never did get Bebop and Rocksteady in the movie until the live-action films a few years ago. Yeah, when Megan Fox is the only good quality and the guy who played Green Arrow is Casey Jones, there's a problem. I do too. Yeah. Back when they actually looked good. Yeah. Come on, you stupid dog. I don't remember if you're Razor or Tail the name, but you're gonna go down. You need to. Okay, Razor, you have to get spayed and neutered, damn it. Yay! Cowabunga! And now we've been teleported to where? We went from the Dino Age to the train, to a pirate ship to the train. Yes! It's my favorite villain in the TMNT universe, not named Shredder. I guarantee you. Oh, that'd be nice. I agree. Johnny718 Bravo says, I wish this had cross-play. Yeah, that is the one thing. They might add it in later, but I probably doubt it. I'm going to ask you a question, Johnny718 Bravo. Are you related to Johnny Bravo from Cartoon Network? Man, I'm pretty. You couldn't do a show like that nowadays. Oh God, could you imagine the freaking field day? Second, it'd be canceled by the first after the first episode aired. Which, yeah, which is why I'm kind of glad I have that one. And this is what I want everyone to do. If you have a PS2, look for this game. Cartoon Network Racers, because you can actually, once you win a cup with that racer like Coach the Collie Dog or Dexter, you can actually unlock an episode that's on the disc and watch a full episode of Coach the Collie Dog, Dexter's Lab, Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken. Little bonus. Johnny17 Bravo says, that was one of my favorite cartoons. Oh, it would be destroyed by today's standards. Yes, it would, and I actually liked it. That was actually one of my favorite cartoons back in the day. I always watched that. Because every time I looked at it, I'm like, man, this guy feels like he's stuck in a time warp from the series, but in the best way possible. That ship set sail, Mr. Jones. Well, I think the other reason we probably wouldn't see it back either, and it just hit me. Besides today's standards, anybody remember? I think we may have forgotten. Remember they tried to reboot the Powerpuff Girls cartoon, and that didn't work that well? And I don't.
Pizza time.
I remember Total Spies a little bit. Johnny718 Barber says he got rejected 99.99% of the time. He's my hero. Yeah, he got rejected a lot. That's pretty much what was my college life. I hate reboots, leave the greats and classics alone. That I agree with. That's why I'm not a big fan of the CGI Rugrats. I tried to watch that, and yeah, that's a bad idea. I mean, I'm going to say this. The only two reboots I think that have actually worked in the last few years for cartoons, and you have to have Hulu to watch them, is Animaniacs reboot and the Pinky and the Brain reboot, because they got the original cast, most of the original writers, and Hulu's not really having them change too much. I mean, yeah, I think the DuckTales reboot wasn't bad that Disney did. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was just there. I'm going to say, it's not bad for the new kids generation, but us older fans will still prefer the classic. I still have to finish that. I'm terrible at binge watching, Johnny Bravo says, LOL. Oh, the only time I binge watch crazily is when I'm watching anime. Speaking of which, I really like the new DuckTales. Yeah, I don't hate it, but it's hard. But I think because I grew up on the original one, I don't love it, but I still think it's one of the few good reboots we've gotten. Plus, the theme song for the new one is kind of jamming. It's actually a good rendition of it. So Disney, guess what? You did something right. Ding! The only time that would be said in this life. Yes. But I will say this because I think how well that did. I know there's been rumors that we might get a new Darkwing Duck, which I would be okay with because I love Darkwing Duck. I still have my Darkwing Duck plushie as a child. Yes, I'm 34 years old, but if there is, I haven't seen it yet unless it is on their app, and I don't have the Disney app. But what I'm hoping for, because it did get announced at the Disney convention thing, Gargoyles on Genesis is getting remastered for new generation consoles. That if it does well, maybe we'll see a new they won't. How can I say this if they bring back the Gargoyles cartoon? Continue where you left off. Because I love the Gargoyles show. I have the entire DVD series. I was like, that was probably because half the cast was from fucking Star Trek. It helped. I will buy it. And Johnny says, I have a Luigi plush. Oh, nice, man. Nothing. I don't care what anyone says. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you're 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever, if you're a man. It is okay to own plushies. God knows. I mean, shit, I got a giant Squirtle one right next to me because Squirtle's my water-type Pokemon. Which, I'm honest, I have a weird select of collections. Like, if anybody ever comes to my house, they'll say, well, let's go in Doug's video game room. There's the Resident Evil Umbrella Corps poster, a Crash Bandicoot poster, Michael Myers, the Squirtle gang poster. There's the Squirtle plushie, the Splatterhouse plushie, the Friday the 13th Jason Voorhees plushie, Darkwing Duck plushie, Ren and Stimpy plushie. See, if I ever get a girlfriend, Mr. Jones, and if she has a kid already, the kid will be in the happiest place on earth. I'd be like, no, don't break this collectible, because this Ren and Stimpy thing I've had since I was 2 years old. But yeah, I have all my old shit still, which is amazing. I'm getting new posters after I paint my bedroom. Nice, man. Now I will say this because I know most people don't like GameStop. I have almost a lot of my video game memorabilia posters I've gotten from them, because the one I'm friends with, who I've known for about 2 decades now. Anytime they take the posters down or the boxes, he just holds them, and when I come into the store, he just gives them all to me. I got like 20 Lego Star Wars posters, for crying out loud. And they're Christmas presents for people. Yeah, I think I get lucky with GameStop because I go to one who actually cares about his customers. Granted, I will say this: I went to the one in Mechanicsville, and that one wasn't bad. They finally got new people in there who actually care, and it doesn't smell like a 1980s tobacco house. Yeah, and they actually are nice and don't push the games that they like. They push games that you or recommend games you actually like, which is what I do. Cause why? Yeah, the vine jumping in Tarzan and Kingdom Hearts 1 is difficult. Even on the PS2 version it had, because it's hard to line it up with the shadows, so I get it.
Oh, goody. Fresh turtles for lunch.
Oh. I don't want to hit Leatherhead. I like Leatherhead. He's my favorite villain. Can I just have Raph die 122 times? No, I gotta get the platinum. Of course, don't forget there is a sale going on in the PlayStation Store tonight, today. If you haven't checked it out yet, a lot of the blockbuster games are on sale. I did pick up Fatal Frame 1. Bye, Leatherhead. I'll see you later. We'll get some crawdads and shit, man. Next, we go to the future. And we're gonna. Hey, it's 2020, so let's see. None of this looks like it is right now in 2020. We don't have lights or floating ships. This game lad. My favorite stage, Johnny says. My favorite stage has always been the sewer one, but that's because of the music. Seriously, where's my flying cars? Yeah. Where's my flying cars, George Jetson? You promised us that, damn it. And gas is too high. We're going to have to act like Fred Flintstone and start using our feet again. I would say the Genesis version and the Super Nintendo version of this looks a little different, but in a good way. I just lost all that pizza I could have picked up. Chris, Johnny, I hope you're having fun tonight. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. I will say tomorrow, guys, here's the plan for the rest of the streaming schedule this week. After the Chargers Chiefs, we'll be doing the Ravens game that I have to do. Go back to find out how I got the Ravens and not the Cowboys. We might try to do a stream in the afternoon tomorrow as well. It might be one of the horror games I have to do. Friday we'll get back to Layers of Fear 2, guaranteed. The NES version, dare I say, is a little better than the arcade, a rarity. Yeah, that I do agree, because almost every time I bring up Turtles in Time, everybody just goes with just thinks about the Super Nintendo one. Friday, Layers of Fear 2, aka I get chased by fucking mannequins on a ship. Saturday, after Notre Dame, we'll probably get back to Daymare 1998, which is a Resident Evil clone. And then Sunday, probably after the Cowboys game, we'll probably do get back to Blood Rain. Who's that in the sky? It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. And I just got bitch slapped by him too. Shit. By the way, I'm going to say this having to fight Crane and tournament fighters on Genesis. Fuck that match. Ugh. I hated that match. Johnny says, laughing, LMAO, laughing my ass off. By the way, I will say this, Johnny. If you do, I don't mind cursing. I know YouTube's against it, but if you ever curse, I'll probably approve it because I don't believe in cursing. I mean, I do. Let me rephrase it. I don't mind when people curse. I mean, God knows I fucking curse enough on my channel. Excellent. Quang, get out of that body. Brock Lesnar wants to deprogram you. I just realized Raphael could say, I'm Lance Storm. Where's my money? Where's my money from ECW? I will say this, if the Totals were real and Shredder and Crane were real, I think we should just let them take over New York. I mean, would anyone really miss New York City? I mean, Dave doesn't live in New York City, so Dark Knight lives on the outskirts, so they'll be fine. And Buffalo's not in New York, so as long as they don't touch the Buffalo Bills, we'll be alright. You can take the Jets and Giants, Mets, Yankees, Knicks, Rangers with them. Get back here, Crane. Cowabunga. Here's the thing. We haven't... So, the arcade one doesn't have Rat King. Johnny Bravo says, I live in NYC. I can move. LOL. Oh, I didn't know you lived in New York. Oh, God. I hope... I'm going to ask this question. Since it's the NFL season, who's your NFL team? Because we do talk about sports a lot on this channel on Wednesday nights. We actually did our picks earlier tonight. I think we're on Mars on this stage, but Giants. Okay, well, I'm a Cowboys fan, but you know it is what it is. Good job on the win against the Titans last week. Good luck with the Panthers Sunday afternoon. Well, I think these are the Giants fans coming after me. Did you send these guys, Johnny Bravo?
I feel seasick.
And Mr. Jones left. Remember, Mr. Jones is at MIB headquarters in Ohio, so... Catapult.
Ooh, I feel seasick.
Stop firing your laser. Ow. I get took down by a laser beam. Wonderful. By the way, I will say Mr. Jones is the one who gave me Raphael because I let him choose. I can feel it though, boys. All the quarters I sent to spend on both arcade games worth it. Yeah, that's one thing I do miss nowadays. I wish there were more. I wish arcades were back again. I mean, I know in Japan the arcades are still popular, which is one of the reasons why I would like to go to Japan one day. Plus the anime, because God knows I love anime. But man, that's the one thing that's sad. The only way you can play arcade games nowadays in the US is you have to go to a movie theater, or you have to like literally find a pizza place that has it. And it's usually a mom and pop pizza joint 9 times out of 10. Ain't that right, Mr. Jones? When he comes back to audio, he'll probably answer that question. I love anime and I want to visit Japan so badly. Nice. What anime do you watch right now, Johnny Baba? Because I pretty much caught up on all the Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia. I mean, I'm old. I grew up on Yu Yu Hakusho, Ryo Kenshi, aka Samurai X, for people who know it as another name. And Yuasha, and then his daughter's ship, Princess Demon ship. One Piece, I love. You know, One Piece is very long. By the time One Piece is done, I might have a kid or I might be dead. I don't know. Ah! My Cyrus are reaching her wrecking balls. I can hear you, Mr. Jones. We're talking about arcades and anime. I miss if I ever get to own my own business, I'm opening up an arcade bar. I'm like, we're gonna have WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game, WWF Royal Rumble, the arcade game. Which I think that's the one thing people forget. That was the last arcade game for WWF. It was a Royal Rumble arcade machine. Kwame Can't Communicate, Yu Yu Hakusho, Wami, Project A Go, Sergeant Frog. Sergeant Frog I haven't heard of. How is that? Okay.
Pizza power!
Oh, yeah. Oh, even Yosh is a classic. Oh, Cowboy Bebop's so good. I think one that gets lost, though, is Lupin the Third. That one doesn't get talked about as much anymore.
You shellheads are dead.
I know JoJo Bizarre Adventures is going to get talked about again soon. Sergeant Frog was funny / silly. The dub version was hilarious. I may have to watch that when I have nothing to do.
I'm trapped.
Fair enough. Johnny Barber says, I wanted to open an arcade when I was younger. If I had the cash, I would have went through with it. How could I forget Lupin and Cowboy Bebop? They are top 5. Oh yeah. I'm still kind of glad I have the not Cowboy Bebop game, the Lupin the Third game on PS2, because that was that's a trip.
Anyone got a pin?
I mean, I don't know if you have it, Johnny, and I know Mr. Jones doesn't. I actually bought, pre-ordered and got here last week the JoJo Bizarre Adventures fighting game for the PS5, and I'm enjoying that again. I remember that game. I had to find it on eBay. I wish you luck.
I'm trapped.
I know which one you mean. I actually found that a few years ago, back on, believe it or not, the Stars channel. Because that was the one that was set in Japan, so it wasn't like the American version where the heroes were stupid. It was the one that was like, I think you and Ken were young, right, and everything. And Chun-Li was, you know, not hooking up with Ryu yet. My PS5 finally next month. Nice. Yeah, I got, because Mr. Jones know this. I don't know if you're a new viewer or not, Johnny, because I lose track of names. I still have all my old systems. I don't really get rid of my systems. I want to keep them so when I eventually have a wife and have kids, they're going to get to go up on the old school shit first. It's like, before you can get to the new one, have fun playing Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut on PlayStation 1. Enjoy.
That holds our way home. Let's go.
Well, Quang's dead. And Video Game Dad says, hey, Johnny. Technodome, dome, dome, da dome.
The final shell shock.
Wait, what? He had Super Shredder already? Okay, so this does not have as many stages as the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and the Genesis one have.
My favorite.
I didn't. Okay, that's a little. Huh. Yeah, so Johnny, I'm gonna have to. I think you were right, and I agreed with you then. I'm gonna agree with you now. It seems like the Super Nintendo and the Hyperstone heist has more levels and has more stuff to do instead of the arcade one. When does that happen? Yeah, because there was no Rat King, no Slash, no battle in the Technodrome when going to fight Shredder when you have to throw the ninjas at him. No finding Bebop or Rocksteady either? Damn. Did developers hate Bebop and Rocksteady that much in the 90s? I mean, they get more love in Shredder's Revenge, for crying out loud, than half of this collection. I would like that green glowing sword from Shredder. That would be nice to have in the collection. This ain't Super Shredder. So what? No Super Shredder either. It's just normal Shredder. Again, I haven't played the arcade game, the arcade version of Turtles in Time since, oh god, my first MagFest convention. Shredder's Revenge is awesome. I wish James Irving was still alive to see it. Yeah, I mean, I think the one who does Shredder on that one does a good job, but we all wish Uncle Phil was still allowed to voice him. And that's it. The platinum's mine. That's 1,000 platinums, guys. Wow. Kind of anticlimactic. No Super Shredder. It was just normal Shredder. So that means the Genesis and Super Nintendo one's even harder because Super Shredder's in that one. This one's just a normal Shredhead. Yeah, but we did it, guys. 1,000 platinums. Woohoo! Now, can somebody send me a hooker, please, so I can celebrate? Let's take a look at this, my phone, real quick. Johnny Bravo says badass and LMAO. You know, for some reason the chat stream on the side's not going to show the word badass. Scott Stein is probably saying fat asses.
Big Apple, 3 a.m.
And then it just repeats again. Okay, so after that it just repeats. Alright. Well, that's it. We've got the platinum. But before, let's go take a look at one thing. The Turtles Layo one more time. Steinomath. Yo, we all love Steinomath. So let's take a look at the game boxes. Of course, we have the original TMNT game on Nintendo, where you couldn't tell the Turtles apart excluding their weapons. And it feels weird. I'm on a PlayStation, and we're seeing Nintendo licensed boxes. It's a real dream. And that's the Japanese one. There are a few differences. You actually have all the turtles colored in the white bandanas. And then we had the arcade game when they fixed it. And then the Japan version of it. Time to take a little stroll down memory lane. And then the Manhattan Project, which is when Shredder actually tried to kidnap New York City. Which we did that on the channel. And then, but in Japan that's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. That's kind of funny. And then there's the Tournament Fighters for the Nintendo. Kind of a weird fighting game, not a bad one if you haven't played it. Does play a little wonky, but not bad. And then for the Foot Clan. Which was a fun one, you know, a short, easy Game Boy game, not a bad one. They could have done a lot worse. And that's the Japan version. I'm not going to even try to read that. Then, of course, we have Back from the Sewers, which... a good Game Boy sequel, which was always nice to have. And then, of course, that's the Japan one. But then it's Radical Rescue. Oh, God. I'm going to say this after playing it off-screen, after doing the trick to get the trophy. I would have never been able to beat that on stream. If you love Metroid or Metroidvania type games, everybody, so like some of the Castlevania games on PS1, this is the game for you because it plays exactly like Metroid. And unfortunately, I will say this, I suck at those types of games because I am stupid at following a map. And then, of course, there's the arcade, why did I say arcade again? The Turtles in Time for the Super Nintendo. Look at that nice pretty box. And then there's the Japan version. And there's the Super Nintendo one, which, here's the thing, guys, and I think us older people know this, but for you younger Turtle fans, the Genesis one, Super Nintendo, and Nintendo Tournament Fighters all play differently. Nintendo's only got the 2 buttons, and the final boss is Shredder. And you only really face the Turtles you don't pick, KC, Hothead, and that's it. This one, though, the story mode is... you're fighting the Shredder Elite. And we did that on stream earlier today when Mr. Jones told me to go to bed. I will say this. I'm kind of sad because I thought you had to beat tournament mode, but no, you actually had to beat story mode to get credit for the trophy. I actually like playing as Shredder, though, on that one when I'm going against the AI and non-story mode because Shredder's fun. But Wingnut plays pretty okay. Rat King plays like Brock Lesnar. But here's the thing, though. What's funny is what we call it in America, Tournament Fighters. In Japan, they call it Mutant Warriors. A little bit of a name difference there. But you got to remember, though, in Europe, they don't call them the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think they call them Teenage Hero Ninja Turtles. Or something along that line. And then, of course, we have the Hyperstone Heist, which is pretty much just Turtles in Time, more or less, on the Genesis, which I'm glad I have that on cartridge, because that is too goddamn expensive. But in Japan, though, it's called Return of the Shredder. Again, a little bit of name differences. And then, of course, we have Tournament Fighters, which... if you want to get the credit for the trophy in this one, you have to beat the game on level 8 difficulty. Have fun with that. It is annoying as hell. Oh, that's interesting for the Japan box. they used the characters from the third film for TMNT. The third Turtles film. Tournament Fighters. The cover box is from the third. It shows the Turtles from the third film. Yeah, and this is also the first game you can play as April O'Neil as well. Is the Genesis version. Most people think it was Shredder's Revenge. No, no, no. It was this one and then Nickelodeon. We don't talk about the third TMNT film, Johnny Bravo says. No, I think we're going to like to kind of forget that one didn't happen. We just had the first one, the second one, and then nothing else. Just like we don't like to talk about the TV show that had the female turtle. We don't like to talk about that. I am not going over the game manuals. Now, it's funny is you can also look at the comic books here. Granted, you can't read any of the comic books because it's just going to be the covers from each one. That's kind of what stinks. I wish you could read some of the comic books because I would read them, but we're not that lucky. And of course, you do get to go through all the animated shows, which, of course, 1987, that's a classic. I don't think anyone's going to argue that one. The 2003 one, I actually think that's a good one. A lot of people have mixed opinions on it, but I think the 2003 one's actually a damn good one. Yeah. I can understand maybe when they told us go in the future, you know, to help April O'Neil and Casey Jones' son, but honestly enough, I also got to remember, I think that what's funny is I think Donnie actually ends up probably hooks up with the alien chick at some point, but off screen. I gotta head to bed. Have a good night. All right, Johnny Bravo, you have a good night. Enjoy the rest of the week. Good luck to your Giants on Sunday, my man. And then, of course, we have the 2012 TMNT. Now, one not my favorite Turtles ones. I don't think it's bad. I do think it does a good job. Johnny says thanks. I think this is what got the Turtles back in the limelight because a lot of people, the younger fans, grew up on this one. And it did well, you know, made April more competent. She wasn't a complete, I can't do anything. She gets trained by Splinter, so that's a positive. But it only had 5 seasons. And then the newest TMNT, Rise of TMNT. The only thing I know about that one is that it has John Cena in it. He plays the main villain. That's really the only thing I know. And it also has Guy Fieri as one of the guest starring in it. Yeah. Yeah, the look, not my favorite look. I like Raph's look in it because I think that's how Raph would probably be in real life, a big muscle-bound, angry person. AKA Brock Lesnar. But that is it for, wait, who the hell is that? Go back a minute. That's Karai probably on top, because I know April. I know how April looks in that one. I didn't mind the new look for April. But that's it for Shredder's Revenge, guys. The platinum is done. I'll probably install this on the PS5 at some point, so I can get the PS5 version platinumed. Well, we still got one more Turtles thing to do. That's right. We got to go through the arcade mode of Shredder's Revenge still. Once everyone's actually available. I'll be available tomorrow and Friday, obviously. We just gotta hope Craig and Red are Ken is available. Alright, I will drop them a line probably in the morning because I know it's late. I don't like messaging people after 11. Unless I'm streaming, but that's different. But I want to thank Mr. Jones for being here. I want to thank Johnny Bravo again for being here. Like I said, I'll install the Cowabunga edition on the 5 to get that platinum, so I can say I platinum it twice. Because twice is just as nice. But until then, see you guys Thursday evening.